What if Honda created an engine that doesn't need petrol, doesn't need to be charged, and might even outperform electric vehicles? While the rest of the industry is focused on EVs, Honda has taken a different approach. What they've developed could completely transform the automotive world. According to the company's CEO, the new CR-V is so powerful it could disrupt the entire EV market. Sounds unbelievable? Stick around. This might just be the game changer no one expected. Before becoming a global automotive giant, Honda started with one man trying to solve a simple problem after World War II: how to get around with almost no money. That man was Soichiro Honda. His first innovation was strapping a small engine onto a bicycle. It wasn't flashy, but it worked, and it marked the beginning of something huge. From that humble start, Honda quickly expanded. Their motorcycles didn't just run, they dominated. Winning races and setting records, Honda bikes proved that Japanese engineering could rival the best of the West. Then came the cars. But Honda didn't just build vehicles. They created engines that felt alive, smooth, fast, and dependable. Driving became more than transportation. It became an experience. Today, Honda produces more engines than any other company on the planet. If it has a motor, there's a good chance Honda makes it, whether it's for bicycles, private jets, or even Formula One cars. The Honda name has become synonymous with quality and performance. The company sells over 4 million cars every year, making it the 7th largest automaker in the world. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about how they do it, through a combination of trust, innovation, and efficiency that's made Honda a global symbol of reliability. Take a look at the Accord. It's one of the most trusted names in the automotive world. In just the first half of 2017, Honda sold over 161,000 Accords. That kind of number isn't a fluke. People choose Honda because they know it's a brand they can rely on, whether they're buying their first car or upgrading to their 5th. But Honda's strength goes far beyond just making durable vehicles. The company has always focused on looking forward. From the start, Honda has been at the forefront of innovation. Back in the 1970s, they introduced the CVCC engine, which met the US's tough emissions standards without needing a catalytic converter. Later came the VTEC system, which gave small engines the performance of much larger ones. Then they brought one of the first hybrid cars in the US, proving that being eco-friendly didn't have to mean sacrificing excitement. Now, Honda is pushing the boundaries once again, but this time, it's not with a hybrid, and it's not even electric. It's something entirely different. Honda has never given up on the idea that combustion engines can still evolve. They just need to adapt. Enter hydrogen. So why would a company already known for building world-class engines take such a big leap into hydrogen power? Why go against the massive global push for electric vehicles? And how does a bold move from Honda's CEO threaten to shake up the EV market entirely? The answer lies in one word: hydrogen. And it might just be the breakthrough that catches everyone off guard. Electric cars used to sound like science fiction. No gas, no engine noise. Just plug in and go. Fast forward to now, and they're everywhere. Teslas glide down the freeway, touchscreen dashboards light up, and charging stations are popping up next to your local cafe. The shift to electric happened fast, driven by government support and climate goals. Tax credits, rebates, and policies. Banning gas-powered cars over the next decade gave EVs the momentum they needed. What once seemed futuristic quickly became the new normal. Battery technology improved, charging got faster, and skepticism faded. The world warmed up to silent motors and smooth rides, and electric vehicles took over as the symbol of progress. Now, it seems like every car maker, from Ford to Hyundai, is rolling out electric vehicles like they're launching the next big smartphone. Tesla paved the way, but there's a side of the EV revolution that doesn't get talked about enough. Beneath the sleek design and silent rides, there's a cost. Batteries don't last forever. They're huge, heavy, and packed with rare earth elements like lithium and cobalt, minerals that require damaging mining practices. And once those batteries reach the end of their life, disposal becomes another challenge. Charging can also be a hassle, especially if you're not near a fast charger. Waiting for hours isn't ideal when you're on the move. Then there's range anxiety, that constant question: do I have enough battery to make it home? For all the progress EVs have made, not everyone is sold on how practical they really are. Long road trips can still be stressful, especially in areas with poor charging infrastructure. Plus, the cost of EVs remains high, even after incentives. And as more people plug in, the strain on the power grid could push energy prices higher. While electric vehicles are hailed as the future, they come with some serious drawbacks. Look beneath the surface, and the cracks start to show. It's not just about moving away from gasoline. It's about finding a cleaner, smarter solution that doesn't just shift the problem somewhere else. That's where Honda steps in. Rather than rushing to join the EV race, they've chosen a different path. One that avoids long charging times, skips the battery waste, and doesn't depend on hard-to-source materials from across the globe. What they're offering isn't electric in the traditional sense, and it's not gasoline either. It runs on something different, something lighter than any other element, something that turns into nothing but water when used. Honda believes hydrogen might be the real solution, the one that could speed up the clean energy transition, rather than just follow the current trend. And this idea isn't new to Honda. Long before hydrogen became a buzzword, they were already experimenting with it. The story starts with a car that looked like it came from tomorrow, and then quietly disappeared. In 2015, Honda introduced a vehicle that turned heads. It didn't run on gas, and it didn't need to plug in like a standard electric car. Instead, it ran on hydrogen. The Honda Clarity fuel cell was revealed at the Tokyo Motor Show as Japan's first commercially available hydrogen-powered car. It didn't just look futuristic, it drove like it belonged to the next era. The Clarity wasn't just an existing model with a new system tacked on. It was built entirely from scratch to run on hydrogen and nothing else. Inside, it featured wave flow technology, which helped hydrogen move more efficiently, generating more power with less waste. The fuel cells were compact, strategically placed, and more powerful than anything Honda had ever developed. The result was a clean energy car that could truly go the distance. On a full tank, it could travel up to 360 miles, farther than most electric vehicles at the time. It delivered an impressive 88 miles per gallon equivalent and emitted nothing but water vapor. Quiet, smooth, and spacious, the Clarity seemed like the perfect formula for a cleaner future. But despite all its innovation, the Clarity didn't catch on the way Honda had hoped. The car itself wasn't the issue. It was the world around it. Hydrogen refueling stations were incredibly limited. Outside of California or a few places in Japan, you were out of luck. That made road trips uncertain, and most drivers won't buy a car that makes them worry about whether they'll make it to their destination. On top of that, the technology felt complex and unfamiliar. To many, hydrogen sounded more like science fiction, or even a safety concern. Meanwhile, electric vehicles were gaining popularity fast. They were simpler to understand. Plug them in, let them charge, and you're good to go. Celebrities were driving EVs. They looked sleek, and governments were throwing their full support behind them. Charging stations were popping up everywhere. Tax breaks were generous, and the marketing was strong. Fuel cell vehicles didn't get the same treatment. Public awareness was low, incentives were fewer, and test drive opportunities were scarce. So, even though the Clarity was a technical marvel, it struggled to compete in the real world. In 2021, Honda stopped production of the Clarity fuel cell, along with its plug-in hybrid and battery electric versions. But that wasn't the end of the road. The Clarity left Honda with more than just a sales report. It gave them experience. It proved that hydrogen fuel cell cars can work. The science wasn't the problem. The timing was. The world just wasn't ready. Honda did what any smart company would. They paused, observed, and learned. While EVs surged ahead, Honda quietly kept working in the background. They never let go of hydrogen. Not even close. Now, they're returning with a powerful new ally. Teaming up with General Motors, Honda is developing a new generation of fuel cell technology aimed at solving the problems the Clarity couldn't. Better range, smarter systems, and a second shot at a cleaner, more sustainable future. The most exciting part of Honda's return to hydrogen is that they're doing it with a car people already know and trust, the CR-V. But this isn't just a minor update. This is a comeback that could shake the entire EV market. The new CR-V, hydrogen SUV, isn't just packed with fresh technology. It's a statement, a real challenge to the future of electric cars. Honda's decision to bring hydrogen back isn't just bold, it's calculated. They took everything they learned from the Clarity and applied it to a vehicle that's bigger, more practical, and familiar to drivers. And this time, they're not doing it alone. Partnering with General Motors, Honda is aiming to overcome the obstacles that once held hydrogen back. The new CR-V may look like a typical SUV from the outside, but under the hood it's something completely different. It doesn't run on petrol, it's not an electric plug-in either. It's fully hydrogen-powered. In the back are two high-pressure fuel tanks, neatly integrated without taking up cabin space. A compact, intelligent power unit tucked beneath the seats controls everything, balancing power and safety seamlessly. What makes this system truly special is how it works. Instead of drawing power from the grid, the CR-V creates its own electricity on the go. It combines hydrogen with oxygen in a chemical reaction inside the fuel cell, generating power instantly. There's no waiting, no charging, and no massive battery. And the only byproduct? Water vapor, so clean you could breathe it. This means more freedom and less stress. You can refill the hydrogen tank in just 3 to 5 minutes, just like you would with gasoline. And once you're topped up, the CR-V gives you a range that rivals even the best electric vehicles, without the range anxiety. For everyday drivers who want convenience without compromise, this is a huge leap forward. But Honda didn't stop there. They added an extra feature that sets this CR-V apart. It can power external devices. Think of it as a mobile energy source. In an emergency, like a blackout or a natural disaster, your car can step in to charge your electronics or even power your home. It's more than transportation. It's a lifeline when the lights go out. Even with all these upgrades, Honda made sure the CR-V stayed true to what people love about it. It's still spacious, family-friendly, and comfortable. The hydrogen tech fits seamlessly into the design, without making sacrifices. Nothing feels experimental or forced. It just works. There's no sense of pressure or flash. And that's exactly the point. Honda's goal is to make cutting-edge technology feel completely normal, almost invisible, and they're being smart about the rollout. Instead of trying to launch everywhere at once, they're starting in places where hydrogen already has a foothold: California and Japan. These regions already have refueling infrastructure, so drivers there can adopt hydrogen without the stress of wondering where to fill up. As the network grows, the CR-V hydrogen will expand with it. Honda isn't rushing. They're placing this technology where it has room to take root and grow naturally. It's a quiet strategy, but one that could shake everything up. There was no flashy campaign or viral ad blitz, just smart timing, strategic partnerships, and a clear long-term vision. And that might be the most dangerous part for the rest of the EV market. While other automakers are focused on faster charging and better batteries, Honda skipped the line entirely. Instant power, long range, zero emissions, all in a familiar SUV package. No need to retrain customers. No need to reintroduce the brand. Just clean energy that feels like second nature. And this raises a big question. If the CR-V hydrogen is this good already, what happens when Honda starts putting this technology into the rest of its lineup? Hydrogen, after years of being sidelined, is finally stepping into the spotlight. For a long time, the problem wasn't the cars or the science. It was the lack of places to refuel. That's what held back the Clarity. That's what nearly shelved the dream. But now, the infrastructure is catching up. New hydrogen stations are being built across the US, with California leading the charge. Other states are watching closely. Japan has made hydrogen a key part of its national energy strategy. Germany is investing heavily in hydrogen stations to support freight trucks. And China, the world's largest car market, is quietly pouring billions into its own hydrogen network, planning to power fleets of buses, taxis, and commercial vehicles with fuel cells instead of batteries. This isn't speculation. It's already happening. Governments aren't just testing hydrogen anymore. They're investing in it as a long-term solution. Not just for passenger cars, but for the heavy-duty stuff. Buses, trucks, even trains. In areas where long distances and heavy loads matter, hydrogen beats batteries. It's faster to refuel, goes farther, and doesn't rely on the availability of a charging station. And now, things are starting to crack in the EV system. As electric vehicles surge in popularity, the grid is starting to feel the strain. There have already been warnings not to charge EVs during peak hours because the infrastructure can't keep up. We're going to need more electricity, and we're not producing it fast enough. And then there's the supply chain problem. EVs rely on rare materials like lithium and cobalt, which are limited, environmentally damaging to extract, and politically complicated to secure. They're hard to find, expensive to get, and messy to mine. Rare metals like lithium and cobalt are becoming a bottleneck for electric vehicles. The Earth can only yield so much before demand outpaces supply, and when you factor in rising prices, recycling challenges, and the environmental toll of extraction, the clean in clean energy starts to look a little dirty. That's where hydrogen comes in, and suddenly things look a lot brighter. Hydrogen doesn't strain the electric grid. It doesn't rely on rare earth elements. It doesn't require hours of charging. Even better, it can be produced from water, using solar or wind power, creating what's known as green hydrogen. In that case, all it takes to run a car is water and sunlight. No dirty emissions, no pressure on power systems, no bulky batteries. And this isn't just a cleaner alternative to EVs. It's a smarter one, because hydrogen isn't trying to replace EVs in their comfort zones. It's thriving in the places EVs can't go. Long-haul trucking, mass transit, and remote areas all need solutions beyond the reach of battery-powered cars. Hydrogen fills those gaps with ease, and the shift has already started. Honda knows this, which is why the timing of the hydrogen-powered CR-V is no accident. Infrastructure is growing, hydrogen is getting cleaner, and the world is finally ready. The future is no longer a waiting game. Roads are being built right now, but Honda's ambitions go far beyond fuel stations and eco-friendly power. This is about more than just fueling cars. It's about how Honda is reshaping what an engine can be. And behind the scenes, they're doing something remarkable. Something only a company like Honda, with its deep engineering roots, could pull off. Honda has always been about engines. It's in their DNA. Whether it was the buzz of a scooter or the roar of a Formula One car, they didn't just build engines, they mastered them. But now, as the world begins to move beyond gasoline, the question becomes, what does engine mastery mean in a world without fuel? Honda's answer is fuel cells. Where most companies rushed into batteries, Honda asked a deeper question. How do you make a green engine that still feels like a Honda engine? Hydrogen gave them that answer. Fuel cell systems aren't just quiet. They're smooth, quick, and responsive. They deliver power instantly, with none of the lag or artificial feel that some electric cars have. It's like driving a traditional engine, just without the emissions. No noise, no smoke, no fuel. Just water vapor. But this isn't Honda abandoning engines. It's Honda evolving them. Together with General Motors, they've been building fuel cell systems that are smaller, faster, and more efficient. They've pooled research, tech, and years of trial and error to bring this to life. What used to be a concept is now a product, and what used to be a challenge is now an advantage. Honda's engine mastery paired with GM's electric expertise is already a powerful combination. But that's just the beginning. Honda is also part of a bigger, ambitious movement happening back in Japan. Alongside Toyota, Subaru, Mazda, and even Yamaha, they've joined forces in a national tech alliance focused on rethinking combustion itself. Their mission? To reinvent the internal combustion engine by making it cleaner, not by scrapping it entirely. They're developing low-emission engines that can run on alternative fuels like biofuel, hydrogen, and even ammonia. This isn't about taking down electric vehicles. It's about giving people more options for a cleaner future. It's about recognizing that plugging in isn't always the answer, especially in regions with unstable power grids, limited charging, infrastructure, or industries that need long-haul and heavy-duty performance. These cleaner-burning engines are designed for those exact gaps, places where EVs still struggle to compete. Honda isn't just keeping up with change, they're reshaping what change looks like. Instead of ditching the engine, they're reimagining it. They're staying true to what they've always done best, building reliable, efficient, and fun-to-drive machines. But now, they're doing it with new fuels, new thinking, and a long-term vision. And this quiet but revolutionary mindset is already earning them attention at some of the world's top universities, where their forward-thinking cars are being studied, tested, and admired. So, the question stands: can Honda's hydrogen-powered CR-V really disrupt the EV market? It might sound bold, even exaggerated, but when you break it down, the comparison is clear. Let's start with one of the biggest frustrations EV drivers face: charging time. Depending on the charger, fully recharging an electric vehicle can take anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours. That's fine for some people, but it's a serious inconvenience for anyone with a busy schedule or a long commute. The hydrogen-powered CR-V, on the other hand, can be refueled in just 3 to 5 minutes, basically the same as filling up with gasoline. That's not just an improvement, it's a game changer. Then there's range. Most modern EVs offer somewhere between 200 and 300 miles per charge. But the CR-V hydrogen, it's aiming for around 400 miles on a full tank. That kind of range matters, especially for drivers who travel long distances or don't want to constantly plan around charging stations. And when it comes to emissions, both EVs and hydrogen cars are clean at the tailpipe. But here's where hydrogen pulls ahead again. While EVs rely on large lithium-ion batteries, bringing with them the environmental and ethical issues of mining and disposal, hydrogen fuel cells generate electricity as you drive, with water vapor as the only emission. No lithium, no cobalt, no massive battery waste. So when you put all this together, refueling speed, range, emissions, and resource impact, Honda's hydrogen CR-V starts to look less like an underdog and more like a serious alternative to the current EV model. It may not destroy EVs entirely, but it's not trying to. It's offering a new path forward, one that's clean, fast, familiar, and increasingly viable. In classic Honda fashion, they're not shouting about it. They're just building it, perfecting it, and letting the results speak for themselves. When it comes to infrastructure, electric vehicles still have the upper hand. For now, charging stations are everywhere, and many drivers can conveniently plug in at home. That's a big win for EVs in the short term, but hydrogen isn't sitting still. Countries like Japan, Germany, China, and California in the US are rapidly expanding their hydrogen station networks. And while EV charging pulls a heavy load from the electrical grid, hydrogen stations don't. They offer quick, efficient refueling without overloading local power supplies. Then there's the source of power. EVs rely on large batteries that require rare earth metals like lithium and cobalt. These materials are expensive, hard to mine, and damaging to the environment, not to mention the ethical concerns tied to where and how they're sourced. Hydrogen fuel cells sidestep all of that. No massive batteries, no battery degradation over time, no risk of battery fires, just clean, on-demand energy in a system that's built to last. Now, the market is shifting. Enthusiasm for EVs remains high, but frustration is growing. Long charging times, limited driving range, increasing electricity costs, and growing doubts about battery longevity are starting to wear on consumers. That's why hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and now hydrogen are gaining attention fast. Honda's decision to bring hydrogen back wasn't just about the tech. It was about timing, trust, and familiarity. By putting this advanced fuel system into the CR-V, one of its most reliable and best-selling vehicles, Honda made hydrogen feel accessible. It's not some futuristic concept car, it's a CR-V. A car people already love, now made cleaner and more capable. Will hydrogen replace EVs entirely? Probably not, and it doesn't need to. Even a small share of the market can make a big difference. If hydrogen-powered cars start popping up alongside electric ones, it changes the conversation. It gives people more choice, and it puts pressure on automakers to innovate faster, smarter, and in more sustainable ways. That's not damage to the EV market, it's disruption. And now that Honda has made its move, others will have to respond. But this isn't just about Honda, or even just about hydrogen. What's happening now is part of a much bigger global shift. Nations and companies around the world are reimagining how we fuel the future. Clean energy is no longer a one-lane road. Take Toyota, for example. In Japan, they're experimenting with ammonia as a fuel. It doesn't get as much attention as hydrogen, But ammonia has real potential. It burns cleanly, holds more energy per unit volume than hydrogen, and can be used in modified internal combustion engines, making it a solid option for powering large vehicles where hydrogen or batteries might fall short.